Sicily, Italy's largest island, is grappling with the aftermath of violent storm that unleashed torrential rain, powers, winds and severe flooding across the region. The storm was stuck overnight, has caused widespread destruction, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. It prompted urgent response to local authority and emergency service. The cities of Catania and Messina have been particularly hard hit, with streets transformed into rivers and homes inundated. In Catania, a major urban center, the heavy downpour led to closure schools and businesses, while emergency response working tirelessly to rescue residents trapped in their homes. A powerful storm hit Sicily, Italy, caused severe weather conditions that resulted in widespread destruction across the island. The storm, characterized by the heavy rain and gale force winds, led to widespread flooding, power outage and extensive damage to infrastructure. Local authorities report that the crises of Catania and Palermo have been hardest hit. In Catania, streets thrown into rivers and water level rose and threw through head. A historic center, which is usually driven to tourists, and the ill-equipped emergency service tried to cope with the flood. Videos shared on social media show cars submerged on residents wading throughout the waist-deep water. The meteorological service has recovered the widespread up to 100 km/h. With a fully updated situation, trees have been uprooted, roofs and have been rapid to rebuilding, and debris is scattered to the roadway, making travel dangerous. The regional government has issued a red alert, urging residents to stay at home and avoid unnecessary travel. In Palermo, the storm led to similar scene of chaos. The local airport has temporarily closed due to flooding of the runway, leaving flight cancellation and delays. Public transportation was severely disrupted, leaving passengers unstranded. The coastal area forced the burst of the storm, with the strong waves crashed against the coastline, causing erosions or damaged sea defense. Emergency services are working throughout the globe to help those in need. In Italy, Red Crescent are mobilized to support the most affected areas, offering shelters and disrupted basic necessaries. Rescue operations are ongoing, with the reports of people trapped in their homes due to rising waters. Helicopters have been deployed to evacuate those in immediate danger. The impact of the storm on agriculture is also growing concern. Faces potential devastation. Initial estimates suggest significant group losers, which could have a long-term economic impact on the region's farming communities. Italian Prime Minister Giorgio Conte has experienced solidarity with the affected residents, planting government and the rescue to support the forced recovery efforts. He praised the resilience of the Sicily people and the tireless efforts to the rescues. Meteorologists predict severe weather conditions to continue over the next 24 hours and advised residents to remain vigilant. The Sicily is struggling with the aftermath of the disaster. The focus of ensuring the safety of the residents and bringing to order starts to rebuilding. The full extent of the damage will become clear to coming days, but for now Sicily is widespread the storm-related onslaught. As the storm continued to hit Sicily, the regional authorities are deployed all available rescue to mitigate the effect. Civil protection units are on a high alert, coordinated with local municipalities to ensure the rapid response to emergency. The Italian government has pledged to immediate financial assistance to support this force, emphasizing the importance to rapid relief and long-term recovery plans. In addition to urban centers, rural areas and small towns were also affected in a disaster. In the province of Sicily, several communities have reported several flooding and landslides, complicating rescue efforts. Particular vulnerability and Picture Square village, often located in village and riverbank. Many residents were evacuated to temporary shelters set up in school and community center. The storm has also disrupted essential service across the island. Hospital and affected areas are running on backup generator due to widespread power outage. Medical teams are provided priority emergency care, additional rescue and being mobilized from the less affected regions to support local health facilities. Concerns are growing about the spread waterborne disaster, prompted health officials and issue water safety to joint advisories. In response to the escalation crisis, international humanitarian organizations have begun to mobilize support. The European Union activated the emergency response mechanism, provided logistical and financial assistance by Italy. Neighboring countries have offered to assistance, and the term of France, Spain and prepared to take part in the restoration work. Sicily is the largest island of Mediterranean and grappling with the aftermath of devastation storm that struck on Friday evening. The extreme weather event has left a trail of destruction across the island, disrupted daily life and raising concerns about the increasing frequency of such occurrence in the region. The storm, characterized by torrential rain and violent wind, resulted in widespread flooding, particularly in the cities of Catania and Messina. Streets were transformed into rivers, submerged cars and damaged infrastructure in some areas. The water level rose quickly to residents who were trapped in their homes, necessitating rescue operations by emergency service. The Italian Civil Protection Department has reported numerous assistance of people being rescued from the rooftops to upper floors and buildings. Power outages have been widespread on thousands of households left without electricity. The storm has also caused significant damage to the agriculture sector, which has a vital part of Sicily economy. Vineyards and olive groves, many of which were preparing for the harvest season, have been devastated by heavy rains and strong winds. Preliminary estimates suggest the economic impact could run into millions of euros. Transport networks have been severely affected, with many routes rendered impossible due to flooding and landslides. The island's main airport in Catania faced temporarily closed, resulting in numerous flight cancellations and delays. Rail service have also been disrupted for the complicated situation for residents and travelers. Local authorities have declared a state of emergency and are urged residents to stay indoors and avoid non-essential travel. The mayor of Catania, Silva Folklore, has called to climate solidarity, emphasizing the importance of community support during the challenging time. We are facing an extraordinary water event and requires extraordinary measures, he said in the press statement. The storm in Sicily part of body part of extreme weather event affecting in Mediterranean region, which scientists attributed to climate change. Rising area temperatures of challenges atmospheric coordination are contributing by the intense fall and frequency in such forms. Environmental experts are calling for urgent action to address climate change and mitigating the impact. As the immediate rescue and relief efforts continue, the focus will soon shift recovery to rebuilding. The Sicilian government has pledged to provide financial assistance to those affected in the investment in infrastructure improvement to better withstand future storm. For now, however, the priority remains ensure the safety and well-being of all residents of the cope the aftermath of severe weather event. The violent storm struck the capital Friday evening, brought torrential rain, powerful winds, and hailstorms. The sudden and severe weather has caused widespread disruption across the city, leaving a significant damage to infrastructure, flooding in several neighborhoods, and power outage affected thousands of residents. The storm, which began around 6 p.m., quickly overwhelmed the city drainage system. Streets in central Rome, including historic areas around the Colosseum and Roman Forum, were transformed into rivers within the minutes. Videos circulated on social media showed cars submerged in water, with some vehicles swept away by the force of current. Public transportation was severely impacted, with the numerous roads suspended into metro lines experiencing delays and temporary closure. Roads Major Roberto Calteri has urged residents to avoid unnecessary travel to stay indoors while facing to extraordinary weather events that caused significant disruption and damage. Our emergency services are working tirelessly to mitigate the situation to assist those in need. Emergency services have been inundated with calls, responding to numerous incidents to flooding, fallen trees, and structure damage. The fire brigade has responded to 200 invitations throughout the evening and night, and many teams still working to clear debris and restore access to affected areas. Power outages have compounded the difficulty with several districts, including Trastevere, parts of the city center, experienced blackouts. Unity companies have deployed additional crew to restore electricity, but officials have warned that may time to fully reestablish severe due to extended damage. In the wake of the storm, community spirit has through the volunteers mobilized to assist with the cleanup operations and provide support to those affected. Local organizations have set up temporary shelters to individuals displaced by the flooding, to flood banks, and distributed supplies to those in need. An Italian Red Cross has also activated its emergency response unit, providing medical assistance and coordinated with the local authorities. To ensure the safety and well-being through residents, the community's response have been normally a volunteer for the Red Cross on time of crisis at a critical time together to support one another. Meteorologists have indicated the severe weather in the parts of a long-term affected the Mediterranean region, with the potential and some storms in the coming days. Authorities are urged residents to stay informed throughout the official channels to prepare to fully disruption. The storm in Rome, highlighting increasing frequency and intensity of extreme weather events, prompted calls to great investment in climate resilience and infrastructure. Experts and advocates to improve urban planning to enhance emergency preparedness to mitigate the impact of such event in the future. The city begins the arborous task to recovery, the resilience, solidarity in the residents' stands and the testament of Rome enduring spirit. While the storm left a trail of destruction, the communal efforts to rebuild, to restore, provide hope and strength to days ahead. A powerful storm swept through the city of Turin late last night, caused widespread damage, flooding, and significant disruption of daily life. The storm, which brought heavy rain, strong winds, and intense lightning, in the worst of severe weather events the city experienced in recent years. The storm with a tune alert warning, beginning the late evening and intensified it rapidly. The midnight, several parts of the city were under several inches of water. Of the emergency service were stretched to their limits, responding to calls. Reports indicate numerous streets in residential areas have been severely flooded, and at Parco de Valentina, a large public park along the border, particularly hard hit. Fallen trees and debris were blocked several major roads, causing traffic chaos during the morning community. Public transportation has severely affected, with the train service deployed suspended in various parts of the city. The city's metro system also experienced partial shutdowns due to the ignorance of several underground systems. Residential in the hardest hit area were evacuated. The precaution with the temporary shelters set up to accommodate those displaced by the flooding. Our authorities have urged people to stay indoors and what essential travel, non-cleanup operations are underway. The storm caused significant damage to city infrastructure. Numerous power lines were brought down by the strong winds, leaving widespread power outage affected thousands of homes and businesses. Utility companies have been working around the clock to restore electricity. Some areas are expected to remain without power for several days. Several buildings, including residential block, commercial properties, sustained structural damage from the fallen trees and fallen debris. In some areas, damage have been severe enough to render buildings unsafe, prompted evacuation to extensive repairs. The emergency service, including firefighters, police, and medical teams, have been working tirelessly to manage the situation. Firefighters have been engaged. The rescue operations helping residents rapid flooded homes include debris from the streets. The local government can activate a crisis management teams to coordinate response efforts to ensure the safety, public safety. Authorities have issued warning about the potential for further flooding and landslides, particularly in hill areas surrounding the city. The Italian Civil Protection Department have been monitoring weather forecast and closely advised to residents to remain vigilant and prepare to additional adverse weather conditions. Despite the extensive damage and destruction, our community has shown remarkable resilience. Volunteers have come forward to assist the relief efforts, providing food, clothing, and shelters unaffected to the storm. Local businesses have also pitched offering support to resources to help with the recovery efforts. City officials have promised to communities in response to emphasizing importance working together to overcome the challenges posed by the storm. This has been a difficult time to our city, but the spirit of cooperation and solidarity truly inspiration. As Turin begins an adhere start to recovery, attention is also to the long-term implementation of such extreme weather events. Climate experts have pointed the storm, the magnitude becoming increasingly common due to climate change, underscored to need the better preparedness for the resilient infrastructure. In the coming days, the immediate crisis subsided, but the will through the assistance through drainage system coordinate the force restore normally. For now, the focus remains to ensure the safety and well-being to residents, especially those who have been mostly affected by the devastation storm. A severe storm struck Milan late Sunday night, unleashed heavy rain, powerful winds and lightning that caused widespread destruction across the city. The tempest, which lasted several hours, resulted significant damage to infrastructure, transportation networks, and residential areas. Authorities reported that storm, which began around 10 p.m., quickly intensified, overwhelming the city drainage system and leaving the flash flooding in numerous districts. The vital canals, population historic are known as nightlife, so water level are overwhelmed, inundated streets and grow life flow establishment. Emergency services were swiftly mobilized to address the crisis. Firefighters are policies working through the night, responded to calls to flooded basements, standing vehicles, and fallen trees. The city's public transportation networks was severely affected, with the several metro lines temporarily suspended and tram service disrupted to debris on the tracks. Local residents described the storm as one of the most intense in recent memory. It was like a scene from the disaster movie, said Marco Rossi, residents of Indonesia neighborhood. The wind was howling, the rain pulled in torrential. The sky was lit up, conditions lighting. I never seen anything like that. Milan's iconic landmarks were not spared. The gallery now Victoria Emanuel in the city renowned showering arcade suffered minor flooding, with the grounds of Duomo di Milano and little broken branches and other debris. The La Scala era open house, however, reported damage and confirmed the uncommon performance will be processed on schedule. The storm also disrupted air travel, with the Milan, Valencia, and Elitaria airports experienced delays and cancellation. Passengers were advised buses to check the airlines for updates, a crew working to clear water-loaded runway and restore operations. Meteorologists from the Italy National Weather Service, Sergio Meteorological, attributed this storm on the unusual coverages of warm and moist air from the Mediterranean and cold from the moving in the northern Europe. They warned the most unstated weather could follow, urged residents to stay informed about forcing and need for the warning. City officials have planned to review the enhanced Milan emergency response protocols. Major Sala emphasized that they need to improve infrastructure to cope the extreme weather events, which are becoming increasingly frequent due to climate change. Our city must adapt these challenges and stand it with the invest better fluid address to ensure our emergency service to fully equipped to protect our citizens. As Milan begins to address task to recovery, this storm severe stark reminder of powerful nature and importance preparedness in the face of climate volatility. A severe storm has swept across the island of Sicily, causing widespread devastation and significant destruction of life. The intense weather system which struck on the island on the evening of May 18 brought torrential wind, gale force winds, and resulting in extensive damage to infrastructure. Local authorities have reported this storm had left a clear through in several key roads and highways due to flooding and levees. In the city of Catania, one of the hardest hit area, emergency services were stretchered their limits as they responded to numerous calls on aid. The city historic center, UNESCO World Heritage Site, and several buildings suffered structure damage, with some streets rendered impossible to. The regional agriculture sector has also been heavily impacted. Farmers plants around Syracuse have reported substantial crops, vineyard cities growth, and olive orange crops. Sicily's economy has been damaged by the early estimated suggested millions of euros. In the island, power grid had forced significant strain, with a widespread outage reported. Utility companies are working around the clock to restore electricity, warned that some areas against remain without base. WhatsApp have also erred, particularly in the rural communities where infrastructure have been heavily The storm's ferocity has captured the residents on social media, with drones footage showed streets uprooted, trees and cars being swept away by them. Local meteorologists have been described by the events of the most severe storms on the hit Sicily in years, attributing an intensified to the combination of warm Mediterranean pressure system moving across the region. Authorities have urged residents to remain indoor and avoid non-essential travel to clean up operations. Schools and public officials in affected areas have been closing, and local government, in coordination with the Italian Civil Protection Department, to assess the full extent of the damaging planned recovery. In the wake of this storm has not been approved in solidarity from across Italy. Numerous volunteer groups and non-profit organizations are mobilized to provide assistance in the Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has experienced to government commitment to support the region, plunged emergency fund resources to aid the sources. The Sicily began from these natural disaster questions and being raising the power of the preparedness and resilience to infrastructure in the face of increasingly frequent and severe. The island's vulnerability to such storm underscored the urgent need to enhance disaster preparedness and sustainable development strategies to mitigate factors. For now, the focus remains to immediate relief and rebuilding efforts on Sicily. Controls of the aftermath of the storm has left in an immutable recall to landscape. Rome, Italy, the eternal city, renowned historical splendor, times beauty on the itself, merchant severe storm wreaked havoc across the metro. On the evening, the powerful weather system swept through the room, bringing with it torrential rain, fire, wind, and dramatic lighting displays in both residents and tourists. The stake shock. The storm, which meteorological have described one of the most intense in the recent years, began its assault in late afternoon. As the sky darkened immensely, the deluge alone followed quickly overwhelmed the city drainage. Streets transformed into rivers where the water levels risen rapidly, inundated homes, businesses, and historical landmarks. Emergency services were calculated their limits to respond to the conflict for access. The city's iconic streets, including bustling where the constant historic world was disrupted traffic and public transport. The Rome metro system suffered significant delays in closest stations were flooded, standing thousands of communities and tourists on the storm roasted northern living gale force wind gusting up to 100 km/h, uprooted trees and sent debris fly through the assistance. Roman several centuries old trees were normally archaeological. The Colosseum were structurally unhandling. Enveloped in a crucial water in the storm that among the hardest hit area was the tidal river, which swelled rapidly in the latest downpour. The river overflowed, leading the flooding assistant neighborhood. Rome Major culturally addressed the public aftermath of the storm, ensuring residents all available resources are being deployed to assist those affected. The storm has tested on the city, but the Romans are we will work tirelessly to restore normality and support those. They also urged residents to remain indoors and avoid unnecessary travel with the clean-up operations were on. The storm reviewed new discussions about the Roman infrastructure and all about the COP increasing unpredictable weather patterns. Climate experts have pointed the event to stark reminder of urgent comprehensive urban planning to take account the growing impact of climate. Rome, like many historic cities, facing quite challenges to adapting the environmental. In the storm-away communities across the Rome have moved together in show solidarity. Volunteers have been assisting the cleanup efforts, providing food to those displaced by the flooding. Social media have been flooded to messages to and other to help highlighting the strong community spirit to provide this as the water recedes and skies. Rome begin to order tax recovery. The storm of violence reminded of power has lost a label mark of the city. Yesterday history showed time to against Rome enduring stretch and ability in the above adversity. The eternal city was at the door. Undoubtedly, whether the storm emergency stronger taste man, there is silent spirit and underwater resolve of